Hi, I'm Alisha, aka Rhapsody. Welcome to my channel. I have been intending to do this video for ages, but I am finally going to get around to my review of Kat Von D's limited edition Serpentina palette. I know that some people have had some less than positive things to say about this palette, probably in part because it is not really a standalone palette. You wouldn't want to necessarily do a look entirely from this palette alone, particularly if you generally wear more traditional eyeshadow looks. But I do very much enjoy this palette, and I'm going to tell you why and swatch it out for you and talk about it a bit today. And my backdrop has been falling over on me repeatedly, so I'm trying not to get smashed in the head at the moment. So this is what the palette looks like. And you can see it has a lot of jewel tones, a lot of metallics. And what drew me immediately to this palette, I knew from the moment I heard about its upcoming release that I had to have it. And the reason for that is that I'm allergic to carmine, and so when I heard that this was a vegan palette, I was thrilled. A vegan palette and had a lot of metallic shades. I am a huge fan of Kat Von D's Metal Crush eyeshadows, which are gorgeous, but they were created before her line went vegan, and many of them do contain carmine. They're not all vegan, and so if you are someone who cares about that, although they're cruelty free, they are not vegan, and so if you are someone who cares about that, you are limited in which ones you can actually get. But not so with this palette. So this palette actually contains dupes for, or very similar shades for many of her Metal Crush eyeshadows. Those Metal Crush eyeshadows go for $21 a piece. So this is actually at $45, I think it was. An incredible deal, incredible value compared to picking up all of those Metal Crush eyeshadows. The palette comes with two mattes, Blood Milk, which is this red here, and this purple, which is much maligned. Everyone seems to hate this purple. It's the only thing that gets really a bad review. If you look on Temptalia's website or any reviews you typically find, you'll see negative things about this shade, Venom, but mostly that it doesn't blend well. But actually I haven't had too terrible results with it. But those are the two mattes, and the other shades are all shimmery or outright metallic. You can see that the palette, of course, is Egyptian themed with an ankh. It also comes with a pigment. The pigment is just to die for. The pigment is called Prophet, and I will talk more about it in a moment. All right. This is the first shade, Blood Milk. And this is one of those shades that's really in right now, similar to one of the shades you'd find in the Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills right now. Next to that we have this shade. Here is Medusa. And this is actually similar to Synergy, one of the Metal Crush eyeshadows. Next is Ankh. Now, Ankh is kind of like a black with copper glitter, which doesn't sound all that great, but actually works out better than it sounds, particularly when blended with other things. The next one is Queen, and this is probably my favorite shade in the whole palette. This is gorgeous. Queen is a metallic deep burgundy, and it is about one shade darker than Raw Power, which is one of the Metal Crush eyeshadows. Now, of course, Raw Power is not vegan, while this is. I'm pausing mid-swatch because I'm not wearing this on my eyes today, but I have done a couple of looks. I've done a number of looks with this palette already, and I'm going to include a couple of pictures of some looks here. There's an iconic picture that Kat Von D took to promote her Metal Crush eyeshadows, where she was using many different colors, and I tried to recreate that using this palette, plus instead of the blue in this palette I used the original Paranoid Metal Crush eyeshadows blue. But you'll see, I'm going to include that in just a minute, that this Queen shade really works well as a dupe for Raw Power in that look. I also used, in that look that I'm about to show you, Hieroglyph as well as Prophet, the pigment here. So I'm going to include that look now, and then I'll get back to swatching. Okay, so you can see that this palette really is quite similar to a lot of those Metal Crush eyeshadows. This next swatch is Hieroglyph. And this is almost a straight dupe for the orange Metal Crush, the orangish Metal Crush shade Dolce. That's what it was, Dolce. Alright, next we have Nile, which is a beautiful jeweled blue. Beautiful color. This is a shade darker than Paranoid, the Metal Crush eyeshadow, which is a brighter blue. Then we have Scarab, which is a jeweled green and a foresty green, and again, quite gorgeous. This is about one shade darker than the Metal Crush eyeshadow Iggy, but again, Iggy is not vegan. And here we have Venom, the matte purple. It's really not that bad for a matte purple. A vegan purples are very hard to pull off. And finally, we have Prophet, which is the loose pigment. And here it is dry, and this one is really stunning foiled, so I'm also going to show you it foiled. And this is a dupe for Thrasher when you foil it. And this is just, I've used it in so many ways. It is so versatile and so gorgeous. I'm going to include another look that I did with it. Actually, the first time I played with the palette, I did kind of an Egyptian look, and I'll include that here. And in that, I'm wearing this pigment on my lips. In fact, I think I was wearing it in both of the looks I'm showing today. So those are all of the shades in the Kat Von D Serpentina palette. Will you use them all in one look? Absolutely not. Will you need to go to some other palette in order to get some neutrals to blend in? Very likely so, but that doesn't mean it's not a useful palette. I think it's a great deal of fun, and as I said, particularly if you wanted to get some of the Metal Crush eyeshadows, this becomes a very good deal very quickly in that case. So I thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed seeing my take on the Serpentina palette, and if you have not already picked it up and you're thinking about doing so, do it quickly. It's already sold out of most of the stores around me, and it is limited edition, so I don't know how much longer it'll be around. So thank you for watching, and until next time, have a wonderful day. Bye bye.